Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about taxes, specifically how BrickLink is starting to implement some taxes in both the EU and the United States. So I've had a ton of questions over the past couple weeks since BrickLink announced that they were going to start implementing taxes on BrickLink orders. Tons of questions, but I wasn't really comfortable in answering many of those until I had really gone and done the research and figured out what exactly they were doing. But I think I got a lot of that together. I understand what they're doing and their business. So I've organized a few questions and we'll get into those and we'll talk about what BrickLink is doing with their taxes. So what exactly is BrickLink doing with their taxes? Well, BrickLink is going to start implementing sales tax in some states in the United States, and they'll continue expanding in the future, as well as a VAT tax in the European Union. And the reason for this is because they now, being purchased by Lego, are a significantly larger company, or a portion of a significantly larger company. So some of the tax laws changed and stuff for BrickLink being a larger company now, or part of a larger company, as well as just general compliance that is changing around the world or in the United States and different tax laws and stuff like that. So BrickLink is going to start implementing taxes, sales tax specifically, to buyers in the United States and a VAT to sellers in the EU. So what is changing with sales tax in the United States on BrickLink stores, sellers, and buyers? Essentially, BrickLink is now going to be charging a sales tax. So when a buyer goes to a store and they place an order, they're going to be charged a sales tax depending on where that buyer is located. So if, the sales tax rate is 7%, they're going to be charged 7% on top of that order. So this just started or was just implemented recently on August 5th, meaning if you go make a purchase from, I think, two states now, Connecticut and California, those are the two states that are implementing sales tax at the moment through BrickLink. And they say they're going to continue to roll out sales tax through different states in the future. So what about VAT for EU sellers? So BrickLink's starting to implement the VAT, or the value added tax, if you're in the EU. Now, there's one big difference between the United States and the EU in the way taxes are. Sales tax is charged directly to the buyer in the United States. The VAT, or the value added tax, is charged to the seller in the EU, meaning you're going to be charged, let's say, 10% more as a seller to sell on BrickLink. Now, it's really important to understand that that 10%, let's say your VAT is, does not get charged to every single order. So you're not paying 10% of that order, to BrickLink or to the government or wherever that VAT ends up going. You're actually charged 10% more of your 3% BrickLink fee. So your BrickLink fee is going to go up in percentage. It's not going to go crazy up. It's only going to go up maybe 10% more or 25% more. So it's not increasing your fees like crazy. It's only going up a little bit. So it's not as bad as it sounds. And that's going to be implemented on the first invoice of September, meaning September 5th, you should get your BrickLink invoice. So they just started that from August 5th to September 5th. That'll be the first period where you guys will have to pay a little bit more if you're located in the EU. So as a seller, am I responsible for collecting the sales tax and then paying it to BrickLink? No, not at all. So the nice thing with this, I guess, is that BrickLink, at least for sales tax in the United States, is going to collect it on their own. So actually, the amount is going to be charged a little more for the buyer, and then BrickLink is going to have, through one transaction, a small portion of that go to their PayPal account versus my PayPal account. So I don't actually have to do anything now, and I don't even have to worry about sales tax. So it's a little bit nice because BrickLink's going to handle the whole tax side of things, and they'll just take their cut right there from the same simple transaction. Does this increase my fees as a seller? Well, that's a great question. If you're in the EU, obviously it does increase your fees a little bit because you are paying the VAT of the 3% BrickLink fee. So you are going to be spending a little bit more on your BrickLink fees at the end of each month. In the United States, though, we're not charged anything directly, but our fees will go up a little bit. And let me explain how. PayPal and BrickLink are working together so that BrickLink gets a cut, or the sales tax cut, of every single transaction. But all of the PayPal fees goes to the seller, in this case me, for example. So on a $10 order, if they're charging 8% sales tax, $10.80 is the whole, transaction amount. I only ever see $10 of that. BrickLink sees the 80 cents of that, but all the fees for the $10.80 will go to me, the seller. So BrickLink's not paying the fees to PayPal. We're paying all of the fees to PayPal. So a little bit, our fees will go up a slight amount. But in my opinion, I would just look at it as BrickLink is taking care of all the sales taxes. As a business, we don't have to worry about that anymore because they're doing that all for us. Meaning, the small extra fee is almost like a bonus because it's making it easier for us to run our store and be compliant with the sales tax for our local state or local area that we're in. Will more buyers move to other platforms because of the increased fees? Now, this is a question a lot of you guys have asked me. In my opinion, it's going to be hard to shift away from BrickLink to a different source, to a different platform. And that's primarily because BrickLink has such a solid foundation. And at the end of the day, when you really think about it, if you go online to Amazon.com, they have sales tax. You go to eBay, they probably have sales tax depending where you live. You go to Lego.com, they're going to have sales tax wherever you live. So I don't think that it's going to turn buyers away. It's going to be slightly disappointing for those who understood that there were mostly no taxes for the most part, depending what stores you went to, obviously. But it may turn a few away who do see that sales tax. But if they're going to go to BrickOwl, for example, BrickOwl, I'm sure, eventually is going to have to implement sales tax as well, and certain stores already do, so I don't think it's going to turn buyers away. Now, in the EU, I could see it turning sellers away because their fees go up a decent amount, or a semi-decent amount, potentially up to like 25%. And when profit margins are pretty slim, a 25% increase in fees shouldn't put you out of business, but it may make you take a step back and rethink as to, is this really worth my time and energy to do this? So while I don't think it's going to push buyers away, it could potentially stop or prevent EU sellers from starting a BrickLink store due to the added fees that they now have to pay at the end of each month. How do I feel about BrickLink charging sales tax or taxes and VAT and all these things? Personally, I understand from a business standpoint as to why they're doing it. They need to maintain the compliance with, themselves as a entity and a business in the modern world, I guess. So I understand why they're doing it. And from their perspective, it makes sense as to why they've gone through the process of implementing all these changes and stuff. They don't actually make any more money from this. So this isn't them trying to up the fees to make more money. This is them purely trying to stay compliant with stuff. So from their perspective, I totally understand. From a buyer's perspective, it's slightly disappointing because now I'm going to be charged sales tax, depending on where I'm purchasing things from. So, it makes sense at the end of the day. It's a little disappointing because there is sales tax, but just like I said, as you go to Amazon, eBay, Lego.com, they all have sales tax, so why wouldn't BrickLink? Let me know down below what you guys think about BrickLink adding these sales tax and VAT taxes on top of all the other things they charge on BrickLink. So let me know down below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed, click that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.